Good afternoon, everyone. I do hope you're having a good day. I'd like to talk to you today about fighting back. I am reading a book right now called Learned Optimism by Martin Seligman, and he's a psychologist, and I'm just pretty much starting out, so I'm still like at the beginning of the book. But he's just shared so many insightful thoughts in this book. One of the thoughts that he shared that stuck out to me is the concept of learned helplessness. And in this book, he describes how he gave a series of shocks, mild shocks, to dogs. Some dogs in a certain category were able to press a button, and they found that there was a reaction, so they were able to save themselves. Another set of dogs received the same shocks, but regardless of what they did, there was no reaction, there was no change in their circumstance. And then the third set of dogs never received any shocks. So the first category and the last category, the dogs who never received any shocks, and the dogs who found out when they pressed the button they were able to save themselves, always attempted to change their circumstances. But the second category, the dog who found that when they pressed buttons, nothing actually happened. When those dogs went on to receive further shocks, mild shocks, in a second test, those dogs just lay down. They didn't try to escape because there was a possibility for them to escape. And he just drew a correlation between the experience or his observation from the dogs and human beings, and how sometimes we can go through circumstances, life circumstances, and from those circumstances, because we feel helpless, we just go through life feeling helpless, feeling that nothing we do can make a difference. Now, this is bothering me. Yeah. Yeah, so we could just go through life feeling like nothing that we do can make a difference. And I'm still reading the book, but it just sparked so many thoughts within me, and I drew a correlation between that and people who have been molested. Usually, the process of being molested usually takes place in childhood, and I feel like people who have been molested may not necessarily be aware of it, but because of that experience, and because of their childhood, some kids felt too afraid to share it with their parents. Other kids were told by the perpetrators not to say anything. And because of the youth and the innocence in that child could grow into adulthood and feel helpless to face or to deal with challenges that they face in life. I feel like the same could also apply to people who have been in abusive relationships, people who have been beaten down over and over again. They stay in those relationships, I feel, because they feel that regardless of what they do, they just feel helpless. Um, I just wanted to just extend a message of hope and an encouragement to anyone who may be facing such circumstances to fight back. You may not be used to fighting back. You may have been dealt a bad hand as a child, or as an adult, perhaps. You may have been in a situation where you felt helpless. But I want to just encourage you to fight back. Perhaps in the past, what you did not work. But keep fighting, because you never know, what you're doing now might actually be the last blow that changes the trajectory of your life. So instead of accepting things the way they are, instead of just lying down and letting life just wash over you or just pummel you to the ground, get up and fight back. Fight back with your mindset. So that's the very first place that you must start when you want to fight back. If you're going from a perspective or a mindset of I cannot, I am defeated, then you are already defeated. But if you can change your mind and your thought patterns to start thinking I can, I am a winner, I am victorious, then you've started the process of actually winning. So when you want to fight back, fight first with your mind, fight with a strategy. If you've done things before, when you were faced with a certain circumstance and it did not work, then more than likely it won't work now. So find a strategy, look for something different, speak to people who perhaps have been through the circumstances that you're going through right now. Because I've heard someone say in the past that what is a problem for you right now has been solved by somebody else. Okay, so just because it's difficult for you and just because it's a problem for you doesn't mean that it hasn't been solved or that there is no solution, because there is a solution, but you just have to keep looking. And it takes tenacity, it takes a fight within you to fight back and to search for the solution that is actually out there. Prepare yourself to be rejected, prepare yourself to receive no's, but let that be just part of the process, because on your way to a yes, on your way to your solution, there'll be many rejections, there'll be many no's, there'll be many closed doors. But if you stop at the rejection, if you stop at the no's, if you stop at the closed doors, you will never get to your solution. So prepare yourself in your mind for disappointments, prepare yourself for setbacks, but do not let it deter you, because yes, in the past you lost, but now it's a new day today. It's a new month, 1st of July, happy new month. You can fight back, you can choose to fight back. So start with your mind and then look for a strategy that works, and work on that strategy regardless of what comes your way. If you need to amend the strategy along the line, then do so. But you must fight back. For the doctors, the frontline workers, the key workers out there who have been affected by the coronavirus, our lives have been changed by this virus. I'm in Leicester. The lockdown was eased, but now it's been reinstated because the numbers have seen a rise. And so we are just on the streets with regular people. We don't quite know what's going on in the hospitals. You guys are out there on the front line. You know what's going on. You've seen loss. You've seen death. But fight back, fight against the depression in your mind, fight against the low feeling that will undoubtedly come over you. Fight that with positive information. Fight that with love. Fight that with thinking about the people that you love and those who love you. Fight back with the future. Visualize the future ahead of you. Right now it might be bleak. Right now it might be dismal, but visualize a bright future ahead of you and fight for your future. Fight for your family. Fight for your faith. If you're a faith believing person, fight back. So that's my message for you today. Get your fight on, okay? From my heart to yours, do stay safe. Until next time, take it easy. Bye.